I just set a date with a girl I met at a coffee shop here in Nashville, and it was super organic, very natural approach, and things went really well. I'm going to go probably on a date with her next week, and I'm going to break down what I did in this video. So if you're a normal guy and you want to get better at talking to girls, this is something you can literally do in your own life, okay? I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I just went to a coffee shop to work, and I happened to start a conversation with a cute girl, and now we have a date, and it's nothing crazy. All right. So, first, when I go anywhere, I'm always prepared to talk to somebody. As soon as I leave my house, everybody is fair game to talk to. And that's really important to understand going into any sort of situation where you could potentially approach a girl that you're attracted to. You have to be ready to meet anyone anywhere. And so I'm prepared at all times to meet anyone anywhere because I practice what I preach, okay? It's not because I, need to go on tons of dates all the time, right? But I practice what I preach, and I want to go out and do what I talk about on this YouTube channel and what I do teach my clients, right? So I went into this coffee shop. I go there maybe once a week, something like that. And I sat down, I started working, and I noticed that I made eye contact with a couple of the girls that were there. And I made eye contact with this girl a couple times before I even said anything. I was just focused on my work. I wanted to get it done. And, I had noticed her, but I wasn't anything crazy. And she got up and came over to sit down. And while she was coming over to sit down, she made eye contact with me again. I looked up, made eye contact, and every single time I make eye contact with someone, I've just practiced smiling at them. So I was like, hey, like that's it. I didn't even say hi. I just feel weird looking at the camera and smiling, but I literally just smiled at her. And then once she sat down, I just noticed that she had this sandwich sitting on her table for like 10 minutes. And I was like, you have not touched that thing at all. And that's all I said. I just made an observation about what's going on. She's like, oh yeah, it was one of those things where, I ordered food because I felt like I should, and then I'm actually not that hungry. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what, I know that feeling. And I started, we kind of started bantering from there. It wasn't anything crazy. What I need you guys to understand is that I'm having very normal conversations with these girls, okay? And at some point I say, hey, what's your name? I scoot over, so I'm kind of sitting next to her. Basically, the way it was set up was I was on a couch, say here, and she was on a chair, like, that's kind of a mess in here, but she was like maybe sitting in a chair over here, and I was like this far away, okay? So it wasn't like I was super far away from her, but I scooted closer to the edge of the couch I was on rather than the middle, so I could introduce myself, shake her hands, and just start a conversation. The things I noticed in this interaction were you can tell how attracted to you she is by how strong the eye contact is. Okay? When she is making very strong eye contact and you're holding eye contact and you're being confident, you can tell if there's a vibe there very, very easily. And it's not that hard. One of the things that if I was a beginner, if I was going to tell any of you guys watching this that are like, how do I meet a girl at a coffee shop? If you can focus on making her laugh one time, literally making her laugh one time, bantering and having a little bit of fun to break any sort of tension and just starting the conversation. If you can just do those things and hold eye contact the whole time, I promise you a lot of times you'll get a lot more numbers than you think. Okay? So we talked for a little bit, and this is kind of the awkward part where a lot of guys don't really know what to do. So I got her number. I asked her if she likes drinks, right? I was like, do you like drinks with a cute boy? She's like, yeah. Cool. I'm going to grab your number. Got her number. And then it's like, well, I'm working, so I'm not going to leave. That would be weird. Be like I'm the phone number bandit, like running away. So I just sat there and would occasionally, while I was working, throw out like a funny thing or like say something to kind of keep the conversation going occasionally. But we were both just working, like side by side. And we sat there for maybe 30 minutes. And that was it. It was very organic. And then we got up around the same time to leave. And so I was like, hey, I'll walk you to your car. So I walked her maybe 3 minutes to her car, hugged goodbye, set up plans for sometime next week, like Wednesday. And that was it. Okay. The conversation was not that crazy. I do want to talk about some of the things I did really well. I held very strong eye contact. I loosened up towards the end of the conversation. I'm not making tons of approaches right now, like maybe one a day, And it's something I want to do more of and kind of document it on the channel, but I'm only making like one approach a day. And so I could have loosened up a lot more. And one thing that I noticed was that the vibe was definitely there. There was definitely chemistry, and you do not need to force it. Okay. That's one thing that I could definitely do better. It's like, you don't need to force it. You don't need to play it cool. You can just be more relaxed and have a little more fun in the interaction. Something that I think I've gotten worse at as I've gotten better game is I've started taking myself way more seriously when I make approaches, because I'm like, I'm a coach. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, right? I'm supposed to be good at this. So I'll take myself too seriously and I won't be as fun in the interaction. And so that might be something, if you're more of an intermediate guy, you might be doing that. You might be taking yourself too seriously. If you're like super red pilled, you're probably taking yourself too seriously. That's a really big sticking point. But those are a couple things that I noticed that I could definitely do better. But yeah, I just wanted to walk you through and show you guys. I mean, I guess I'm not really showing proof, but I'm talking about approaches I'm making. I'm actually going out. I'm practicing what I preach. I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing. And I have a text from her, and I'll pop it up on the screen, that she had a good time and she was excited. So anyway, that will have to be proof enough that this happened for all the haters that think that like talking to girls is illegal and you're going to get arrested. It's definitely not. You can just talk to anybody anywhere you go. It's not a crime. And take from that what you will. There were some pretty good lessons in there, I think, in terms of me reflecting on my own process and what I could have done better. Hopefully I can get some audio for you guys so I can break down, what I'm actually doing in my approaches and things like that. But I figured I would just do a bit of a report here and just kind of show you guys like what I'm doing. Okay. If you want, leave a report of your most recent approach down in the comments and I'll probably respond. See you guys next one. Peace.